Ask every politician, every person running for office, do you love the Lord? Tell me about your relationship with God. Where do you go to church? Do you study the Bible? Every ruler is either walking in righteousness or rebellion. There is no in between. When rulers are in rebellion, Jesus' command to love God, there are severe consequences. There are only two options here. Elected officials either worship the God of the Bible, or they have set up a false god of some other religion or a secular religion of godlessness. If you abandon the Lord and worship foreign gods, He will turn against you, harm you, and completely destroy you. Worship any other god and you fall under a curse. And this does not apply only to the nation of Israel. Government is ordained by God, and every elected official and citizen must understand that. God has instituted government to carry out God's wrath against people who do wrong. That word wrath sounds harsh, but it's not my terminology. Read Romans chapter 13. Government is actually given the authority to use lethal force, to carry the sword for a righteous reason. Take away the wicked before the king, and his throne will be established in righteousness. Get rid of unrighteous advisors. That means drain the swamp. When you're having that conversation with that elected official, before he tells you about his position on the finer points of the Constitution, does he know that God instituted government and is the sovereign of the universe? Before you get into a policy discussion about education, does that politician know that children belong to God and the fear of the Lord is the beginning of all wisdom? Before you get in that discussion about environmental policy, does that politician know the creator of heaven and earth? Before you talk about the Second Amendment, does that politician know that we wrestle not against flesh and blood? Before you talk about taxes, does that politician know who owns the cattle on 1,000 hills? And when he talks about render unto Caesar what is Caesar's and to God what is God's, does he know what belongs to God? Does he know that the church belongs to God? The church is the bride of Christ and cannot be closed. All elected officials and those in authority are commanded to worship God.